3:30 Eastern. Trade Ideas live Q&A, late day Q&A here. Start a few seconds early, let people pile in. As I always mention, do so right off the bat. It's a live Q&A. It is an open forum. I don't come with anything pre-done for content. I always prefer it when you're all creating the content with your questions, your engagements. We'll always try to keep it moving, keep it interesting. If the questions and comments aren't coming in, maybe a little Holly recap, go over some different things that I was looking at. We can always do some scan building together, so on and so forth. So, but give people a moment here to pile in, and we will get rolling on the ball. Rogelio, how are you? Welcome. So let's see here. Let's take a dive around the horn on a few things. Moving average crossover. That's a tough one for us, unfortunately. So I'll give you a couple of things here. We actually did an exercise with it the other day. But if you right click on any alert window and you come to the configure, we have some pre-done crossovers. There's just one issue with those. So let's get those up here. On these moving average crossovers and the VWAP ones here. Where am I looking? Here we go. These ones here, and I don't know where the VWAP ones are. Here we go. Crossover VWAP. There is a built-in volume confirmation in this, unfortunately, and it causes some of the alerts to come in late. So this is what we have. This is what we have built. I'll be honest, Dan, I had a terrible day. But that happens. I've had some good days recently, so I guess it was due for one today. But back to the crossovers. So unfortunately, those crossover, the way that this was programmed and coded, we can't just straight out remove those and then insert the alert back into the system. Been working on for some time. I don't know what progress, if and when anything will change with that. So you can use these. Just know that unless that volume confirmation is met, the alert won't come in. So sometimes they come in and it looks like it's right on time. Sometimes they come in and it's a candle late, and it's just a product of what it is. But those are what we have for built-in actual alerts on crossover confirmations. My workaround for it for anybody is to create a top list instead. Let's see. I think I did. Would we do a 50 and a 200 on a daily the other day? Not sure how. Let's see. Looking for what we did. So now what I did here can apply to anything. I don't have the charts with the actual moving averages on them right now. I'm kind of limited. I don't use a lot of moving averages, but what we did as an exercise the other day in the configure of this is we took the moving averages that we wanted. And there's a few other filters that we threw in here just for the sake of building a scan. We took those two and then put in some values, trying to get those moving averages close to each other on that cross. What we deemed looked good. Now, depending on how much a stock is moved is going to affect how close some of these are. Some will look better than others. The price of the stock can also affect it. But we were able to get some stuff that looked pretty close by doing this there, Rogelio. So that would be my suggestion to you. And so at that point, what you're doing is you're going to look at SMAs, because that's what we have for moving averages. Look at the moving averages that you're looking for, and then create a chart that has those moving averages with the time period that you want, and then start kind of guess and check shooting with putting values in the minimum and maximum of those columns. So that's what we did there for that specific one. Let me close this. I'm just going to bring up a chart and get a new chart. window here, and just going to edit the indicators here so that they're looking at what we were looking at in that. Let's remove this EMA. Let's change this 50 SMA, excuse me, this 20 SMA to a 50, save. Let's change this 5 SMA to a 200, save. Okay, we're going to close. And so this is, and then we want a daily chart, of course, because that's what we did the exercise on. But just to give you an idea of what we had going on here and how you can turn it into what you're looking for. So let's just see what's returning here on these and how they look. So here we wanted the 50 below the 200, getting ready for a cross. Not as close as we might like it, but it might be something. Now the idea with the top list is we have this idea now, and we can return it to, we could put a price alert saying, all right, if we get a price movement moving back up this way, we could set that price alert like so. And some of these will look good, some won't look good. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. See the rate almost kissing right there. Unfortunately, that 50's over the 200 there, but the concept is there. What we're looking for, more than less. This one they never really actually crossed. They got really close back here, and they're close again here. But you can see what we were trying to do here with that. Like I said, depending on the movement of the stock is how that's going to go on that cross. So, something that might help for some of these is, finding stocks that have been moving up recently in price instead of moving down. This one, you get a couple of days more price movement up here, and this 50 SMA will start to look to cross that 200. So that's really the closest that we can do. Again, so a lot of these are looking actually better than what we had the other day. That's actually the death cross right there. Not the golden cross. TLT, what are you doing, TLT? Oof. Golden cross back here with the price fading still. So, good example of the golden cross not working out. And that's that's what I have as my workaround solution at this time right here. So here we go. We get a golden cross and then a death cross. 2 months later. Make of that what you will. That's going to be it on the crossovers there, Rogelio. So hopefully that made sense. I can share this out to give you an idea on the template. I'll put the link for that in here. Load from cloud. Close to a cross. 50 SMA. And there you go. So, to give you an idea that you can work off of a template there. All right, a little bit right off the bat for us. And again, anybody, I see, people piling it out, never sure exactly how many are in here, but for anybody that's coming in, keep it a live Q&A, or excuse me, keep it an open forum Q&A. Like I said, I have no pre-done content. I like you guys to drive the content with your questions and engagements. I prefer to try to keep it more software based for education, but we can always look at a chart. We haven't gone over any of the indexes much in the last few days, so maybe if we're quiet, we'll do that at some point in the near future too. So we have just over 21 minutes left on the market for the day. Choppy day. A little bit of a gap down today, and just wobbling back and forth as we fight near all-time highs. So for those that aren't aware, as people kind of pile in and pile out, we have the trade idea strength alerts. In a two fashion, we now have that for software subscribers. So if we were to look at a toolbar, I'm going to bring over, channel bar. And bring over a docked one to do this exercise here. For those who aren't aware, our strength alerts that's here, that's a newsletter people subscribe to that don't have the software. They get a little email with a blurb about the 5 different picks that are in here. And this is what that email looks like for those individuals that are subscribed to the email only. All right. So, some thoughts on the SPY. Each pick, some levels of interest here. All right. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So five different ideas here. The general synopsis of this is the algo that was created for this back tested the best, and this is not something that was back tested just a few days, weeks, or months. This is actually back tested years. And no, we don't have the data like that. So before, just in case anybody asks, it's not possible. This is all done with the Market Explorer. It's a completely different technology. We can't just push it out any which way we want. We're very limited with it right now. We are constantly updating it. With that said, this is back tested years, and the idea behind it was buying early on a Monday and selling early the next Monday. That was the concept behind this. That's how it was designed. That's how it works. How someone else wants to manage it, that's entirely up to them. But I just, always like to point this out here. So you have this here, and if you're ever looking for, people are like, well, I'm looking for swing ideas. So you have some kind of curated content for some swing ideas right here in the Strength Alerts channel. All right. And in the channel itself, if you want to keep the channel up, a few different scans that coordinate with the current 5 ideas that are in there right now. However, aside from that, anybody that is on our latest beta 5.5.45, you have the opportunity to look at the actual algo that's put those out. All right. So here it is, Strength Alerts. If you're not familiar with how to get there, oh, you figured out last night why that put option scan is pulling so few alerts. What was it, man? Just throw that at me, and I'll continue to pile forward with that. It's funny. I was thinking about that this morning when I got up. If I get something good, I want to share it with the guys in here. But I've been in actually remote sessions all day, so I have not had a free moment for anything, and I'm going to blame that on why my trading went bad today. With that said. If you come to new and you come to Market Explorer, okay, it's going to open a window that looks like this here. We've updated it now so that you can get right into some information about that. If we click that here, that link, that's going to bring you right here, okay, on the Market Explorer from our full user's guide, and talk about the different scans that are in there, what they're doing, all that good stuff like that, okay? If we right click the Market Explorer, we have all these windows, and he just added 3 more, 3-line strike, long and short. All right. If you're not familiar with those, give it a Google real quick. It's actually more of a Forex trading strategy, but we like the chart. We like the charts from it. We thought it looked really good, those charts. So Michael did the math, whipped it up, and now, so, we're plugging along. We started off just these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scans right here when we gave this to you guys. We've now added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more scans to that, and we'll continue to add to it as we go forth. So with that said, you can select the TI Strength Alerts. I have it right here. This is the one that I've got up. All right. And here's your score, your rating on those, and you can go through each day. And like I said, this algo was back tested for week-long holds, essentially. Does that mean everything that's coming through here is gold and you should just throw everything at the wall like spaghetti? Absolutely not. Seat time, trading, risk management. If you're not doing those, careful. That's all I can say. But I've had some really great trades that have come through this myself recently. It's one of the scans I'm really focusing on, as it's most of the strategies, or excuse me, most of the tickers and symbols that are coming through it are more the kind of things I like to actually trade. And I've noticed a correlation between this. Now, I do not know what's in here for filters. I don't know the math of it. What I do know is that my evening scan that I've been picking out a lot of good picks for me over the last almost 2 years now, though a lot of those match up with some of the stuff that's in here too. So definitely some position and range filters, some things that are moving higher recently, showing some relative strength on the chart. So that's that's my short and skinny there on that. So like I said, I know that people are always looking for swing ideas or longer term things. Look at that. Apple's even showing up in here right now. It makes me curious. I like that on Apple right there. Out of the price range I normally like to trade, but I like this stuff right in here with Apple. And it doesn't help that it's sitting right near its all-time high as well, right back here. So, anyways, this Market Explorer is here. If you haven't been using it, I really suggest using it. Here's some other things that are in here. There's an 820 cross on gappers. So for you there, Rogelio, doesn't matter if you're on standard or premium. All you need to do is be on the latest beta. So it doesn't matter if you're paying for the Trade Idea subscription that has the AI in the back testing or doesn't. This is included for everybody that subscribes to the software here. So you got crossers here. This is, a lot of stuff's coming through this here. Just switch it over. But, quite a few alerts coming through that. All right, give you some ideas there. These are 2-minute crosses as well, just so you're aware. Your divergences, bear and bull flag. All right, your gap down fill, your gap up fill. And these are all done more on daily charts. So most of these scans, I think, I'd lean towards more swing trades, not saying that's it, but, it's a great gap fill to the downside. And is it going to find support at this gap? There's more than one way to play any of these things here too. Now, do we find support at this gap after this big move up and we start to build the base back off that? We continue to fall back down to from whence it came. DWAC, interesting. Let's fill in the gap down here. Sorry, some messages were coming in there. I had to read. So Dan, we were doing reversal. Almost all alerts happen. Closed to open, total contracts, traded filter was taking those out since almost no stocks trade that many puts in the first few minutes. That makes total sense, Dan. Very, very good. Good call on that. I didn't even think of that. And like I said, I'm not an options guy. So that's why, when I start playing with options filters, I'm a little out of my jurisdiction in that one. So, all right. So, that was my quick, short, and skinny there on the Market Explorer. And again, I will say to everybody, get organized in Barry's room. If you guys come up, maybe 30, 40, 50 of you come up in that room together in the off topic channel. Hopefully Barry and Michael don't shoot me for saying this, but if you guys get organized and decide, hey, we want to see scan whatever it is, and you get a whole group of you, a consensus on it, and you send it in, I will campaign for you for Michael to build it. Jess, able to get the web version figured out, but it seems like watered down version and desktop version are still have issue. Can't load. No, it is a watered down version. It's called to be nice to the web version, we call it a slimmer version, but because, the stock market and everything runs on PC technology, that's where we started. That's where we went. So, the web version was for Mac users since we don't have a Mac Linux version. And there's just limitations to it, and the coding of it couldn't possibly be any different if we tried. And so our focus really is on the app, but we've given an option without a virtual machine to those using the web version. So no, in the web version, there's no brokerage plus. The channel bar is a little more limited in the data that we can push out, how that works. No text-to-speech alerts in the web version, no external linking in the web version, and only 5 charts at once in the web version. So yeah, it's just kind of it's what the coders can do. It's what we can do. But I'm glad you got that figured out there, getting logged in. The other thing that I always throw out there for people too is if you're on a Mac OS machine, whether it's an iPhone, iPad, or Mac itself, or I should say an Apple machine, they always capitalize the first letter when you go to put in a username. And since we're case sensitive, that throws a lot of people off, not realizing that they're capitalizing that to you on purpose or, without you realizing it. So just always be aware of that if you're logging in with your MacBook or anything like that. And that's where you get tripped up. On custom formulas, you know how it decides what formulas are valid for alerts and filters. Yet we have to have the legacy code existing already. So it's got to come from, bring over a page. There's two different pages that have it. Custom formulas. Link a new tab. So this is the main one. And so here are the legacy codes for those things. So here's your price, your spread, bid, size, ask. All the way down. If it exists, we have it. Here it is right here, with the exception of very few codes and the instructions. So on the PDF, that's another one. Let me bring that over. You have this here, and this is some instructions that go over how it works and the C+ programming that's involved in it. All right. We talk about the source codes for the formulas that have to exist within the system already. How the graphics work, or position and range. So if you want a cone or position and range. And then, your different operations. Nothing crazy. A layman like me has been able to do a few things here. I'm no expert on all the if, thans, and true falses, but I've been able to put a few codes together now myself. And then here's a few other data points that are not, there's a few data points that are not in this one here, that are in this one here. So you got most recent close, expected open. This is the actual code here, and it's telling you what it is here, right? All these things like this here, day of the week, high, low, on today, pre-market. This is your shares per minute, shares per 5 minutes, shares per 10 minutes, shares per 15 minutes, shares per 30 minutes. So those do exist, but it's not something we can just push right out to the server to everybody. Your different moving averages. This is how I created that moving average for the cross alert that I've continued to work on a little bit. Your standard deviations, VWAP, so on and so forth. All right. And then we come down here and a few more functions with the formulas. All right. All these items in here, and just a few more blurbs about all these different things, going over some different instructions, examples, and how the coding actually works. So you don't need to be a genius in any way or master coder or anything like that. And let me know, Dan, if you know how to get to those pages from there. I didn't bring over the page that it comes from, but if you were on our homepage and you go to login in the top right corner, all right, and you click login and you log into your account through our webpage, you'll see on the right side, there's number one is profile, has a few things there. Then it has number two, your subscription, create, activate, cancel, so on and so forth. And then number three is accounts. And the third one down on accounts goes symbols list, edit my like symbols list, and custom formulas. And that's where you'll find that. And you'll find all those PDFs and things like that there. So let me see, custom formulas. So, all right. This is the actual page that all this comes off of. All right. So if we scroll down here, this PDF is actually this one here. That's that PDF. And this codes is this one back here, that one right there. So that's how all that works. Get rid of those. And then when you're ready to create, this is where I've always done it from. We do have the option to do it from in here now on tools. So you can come to tools and formula editor, and you can start creating from there like that. Those all out of the way, back to their homes. Hopefully that made sense. So I was working on this to create relative volume for options contracts. I guess I don't know how. What it would be doing is relating the relative volume to the options contracts in some context, meaning that I feel like there'd be either some if then statements or true false statements with that. Does that code work for you? Is it doing what you're looking for? Because the only code that I see in there is the time one that I'd recognize. If not, I can share that code out. Let's see if Michael or someone's around who's a lot more versed in these than I am, and ask them what it's doing. Let me know, and I can grab hold of that. Yes, because you have a time filter in there. There's no time of day filter in the topless. See, time of day. Nope, doesn't exist within the topless. That's why. So it has to be because all right. So for example, our topless don't come with 1 minute volume on them anywhere. Period, because they update every 30 seconds. So you have to add that. So I'll give you an example. This 1 minute volume on an alert window, configure. Okay, any day now. There we go. So this 1 minute volume here is on an alert window, but you won't find that in the top list. The code for it, I believe, is vol1, and you have to put that in your cloud like that in order for it to load into a top list. So if you look here, you see volume 1 minute, and then I'll have a custom 1 minute volume percent here too. They're the exact same filter, but you have to put it in as a custom in order to have it on the top list. The same would go for something like change 1 minute. Any 1 minute filters are not going to be in top list by default. And so that's why you would get that. Now I'm wondering if you put in the time of day filter as a custom, if that would return it to you as in the top list afterward for a top list, meaning that if you took the time of day filter, so let's see, let's take, where are we? Symbols, custom formulas. Looking for the code for time of day now. So I'll bring this over here so my screen isn't just static and boring. Above, below. Is it only in the other one? Is it in both? So if you took this time of day filter here, I'm wondering what happens if you put that in as just a formula on its own, and if that will be able to return. The only issue is I don't think the top list can count time of day like that because of the refresh regardless. It's not the same as adding a 1 minute filter. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. It just always goes back to where people ask me, well, what can trade ideas do? And my answer usually is what can't it do? You know, there's just so much to it, and there's no one way to use it. You could literally get lost on some of this stuff forever. So I'm guessing, I would surmise putting that in will give you your official answer, of course. That time of day filter there like that. So that's the short and skinny for that there. So, all right, we are closing down the market here. That's correct, Jess. Brokerage Plus is not available in the web version. They've been working on it for 6 months to put it in and having no luck still so far. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to put it in when, we're trying to put our software to work with someone else's API essentially. These companies, the two that we directly connect to currently successfully, IB and E-Trade, like I said, it's us and our round peg trying to fit it into whatever they have for their hole, whether it's square or trapezoid. Am I able to make tabs? I'm not sure what you mean by tabs. We'll bring over a web version here. So it's already kind of tabbed. It's already container because it's in a web page already. But you can pop things out. So like if we click here, pop out, and we move that around like that. So while it has all the scanning abilities, has all the filters are the same, the filter values, all those things like that, the alerts are all the same. Just got a different feel for some of these things. It's not the same as just right click and configure. It's configure and pop out, for example. Well, yeah, so it's already in a container window in a sense. Yeah, then he would have been doing it with the app, not the web version. You can expand this container window within here like this. You can change that around. Um, but that's it. Could I suppose? Let me try something here. I want to see something. Okay, so now I've got it like that. All right, now I have this actually on multiple screens as you're seeing here. But that's the limit on it right there. What I just expanded it. That's it. So essentially, bringing it all over, looking like that. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's reconnect here to the app. Reset connection. Right, confirming tabs, docking. Set a lot of bio positions in my bio port. Absolutely disgusting for the day for those. Oh, exited, not excited. Yeah, I got beat up today. It's one of those days where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna throw in the towel here. So the only thing I got left is holding on to some LICY here. Let's see, I got in a few days ago here. I've sold some along the way up this, but sitting here, not really any real chart resistance. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyways, that was my sad day. Sava. Oh, Sava was an AI alert, right? Yeah, you're very welcome, Rogelio. I if you haven't been attending these regular, Rogelio, make sure jump in here every day 3:30. I'm doing this, so there's one at noon Eastern every day. There's one at 3:30 Eastern every day. Great place. Like I said, there's more than one way to build a scan, and even though we might not have exactly what you're looking for, we might get you something close that'll work in the meantime. Um, so let's look at Sava real fast. Came from the AI. Let's see, 940 alert, short breakdown, short Holly Neo, entry price 49 on the dot. Great alert right off the entry price, as a matter of fact. And then I'm guessing a profit save happened. Yes, profit save. That was kind of obvious with that move back up. And then it got buyers and sellers got even here actually at the buy line until it broke back down again. Interesting. Very interesting. This is just exactly what I like to stay away from here. This stuff. Just it's too all over the place for me, and I'm sure there are traders that do really well in that. I'm not one of them. I can promise you that. I am absolutely not one of them. Oh, great. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 15-minute candles to have, you know, really worked on some profits there, even added to that short. Well, I don't think adding to that short was possible considering the uptick rule, but all the same. Good stuff. What else happened with the AI today? Is there a way to scan for tickers that bounced off the 200 SMA? Seeing a few tickers on my list starting to approach it. Curious how they react to the 200. We could use distance from 200 SMA. Let's take a look. Tool, new, top list window. Let's come to. Oops, let's. of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that there. Let's search 200 SMA. And let's see here. 200 SMA. Let's take this. Let's add that filter. And so prices above, prices at. Let's say we're no more than 303% above. I mean, and this is just going to return us everything that's anywhere near there right now. Let's get our sort. Let's sort it by the 200 SMA as a matter of fact, since that's the focus of the scan. Quite a few coming in there. I always like my colors to match my sorts. Let's select our colors. 200. Okay. Let's get the right column in here. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that 200 SMA column in here. Is there anything here I don't need? Let's get rid of volume percent. I don't care about that. Perfect. Now we're sorting on the 200, and let's just see if there's anything we're missing. So let's open up the set record count here. Let's go 200, see if that changes anything. Yes, there's a bunch that weren't coming in yet, but we're sorting by the 200 anyways. Configure. Let's even up that more. Now, I don't recommend running a whole bunch of top lists that have a 500 record count. It will slow you down. But we're going to do it for this exercise. And let's get a chart. New chart window. Daily. And let's change those indicators around. Edit. Let's get rid of that EMA. Remove. Let's turn this into a 200 SMA. Save and close. All right. Now you can find stuff that maybe bounced off of it. So you can see it bounced here. Moving back towards it again. Below the 20 SMA. You know what this nonsense is. Came down, bounce, bounce, and off. So maybe we don't want to look at things that are 3% above because these are showing things that are actually recovered decently from it. So bounced. It's sitting right at it. And this is coming up. Well, got a death cross here and possible golden cross here. I think that stuff is funny. Just goes to show you people, oh, the golden cross. Yeah, okay. Oh, the death cross. It really didn't look like the death of that stock to me. Never touched it here. Fighting with it here. So yeah, we can tighten this up even more. I think I'm going to configure Windows specific filter. Let's make this 1.5. I think that's going to return nicer things for what you're looking for because you want to see it more recently close to that. That really changed things up a lot. So there you go. Might be looking at a bounce here. And then maybe you create a top list or create a symbols list with a top list and you check that out, daily, at the end of the day, end of the week, whatever it is that you want to look at it of these stocks and just manage that symbols list and update that symbols list. That's what I would do with this. That would be, if I was doing something like this, that would be what I would be doing. perhaps some price alerts if we wanted to. I like to reserve my price alerts for things I'm really, really ready to trade quite personally. I like to keep my price alerts window pretty empty. So, all right, there we go. I mean, I can share this out with you. It's a pretty simple list. Let me know if you want. If you want this, I'll share it out with you. If not, I'm just going to trash it. But we'll call it close to 200. You got it. So let's right click, save, share. It says just stocks that are above $5 that are either at the 200 SMA or no more than 1.5% above it. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, if you're looking to play a 200 SMA bounce, and you could take it and you could even, tighten that up more if you want. Maybe, 0 on the minimum and even, 1 on the max or 0.75 on the max. I don't think you want to get too close. There's that. So, all right, we're at 411 and change. So we got about 18 minutes and change left here. So again, I see people filtering in, filtering out. It's an open forum. So if you all have questions, please ask them. That's what I'm here for. I pound the table on it. I like it when your secret's safe with me, Perfect Circle. Although sometimes Barry spies on me in here, to make sure I'm not messing with the channel and I'm holding up the integrity well. So, lots to live up to with Barry, the way he manages the room and everything like that. So I don't ever want to do harm to this stream and this channel with him. I work very hard to get where he is for the following that he's got. So, but your secret's safe with me. But yeah, if you folks have questions, anybody has questions, they want something demonstrated, talked about, can we do this? If so, how do we do it? If we can't do it, what's the closest thing we can get? Fire those questions away. That's what I'm here for. Oh, sorry, just catching up on some internal chatter that's going on here. That's that. Okay. So, all right. Nothing else is coming in. Looked at Sava. That was a great looking one from the AI, but the AI did have a couple stop outs. This one was never in the money, apparently. Ugh, that's tough. All right, so let's see. Yesterday hammer, today strength. I don't know if I agree with that on that hammer. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, yes, that was a hammer candle. But all the same, the weakness continued. Gap down even. So, no, just from a trader's eye, you're already, here we are, falling hard. Again, it's not a comment on anything other than, the AI's machine. It just knows what it's programmed and then how it optimizes from the programming that we originally sent in, the optimization that does on its own. This seems to be a level of interest, I would say. And zooming back even more so. So yeah, tough when you get to something like that and it didn't look like it was ready to bounce. It really looked like it was ready to give that up. But it is what it is. That's what the AI saw. That's what the algo saw. Looked like it was going to come down and then find its way back up today. Was not the case. 1.7 mil shares traded and it was a little over 2 on that relative volume. So, there's interest in there and all those things like that. Just a bad call on the algo on that one. Prag, if I place a manual order through trades platform, will it automatically add stop loss exit strategy? If not, can we set it up to do so? Appreciate it. Yeah, of course we can do that. So here we go. I'll try to go slow on this because I know I can go fast on it. So I apologize ahead. You can always, yell at me, slow down, Chris, you're going too fast. All right. So if we come, let's connect to the Trade Idea Simulator. All right. And we come to strategies. All right. We can start a blank strategy. So we'll go new strategy. Okay. And we'll just call this new test because I already have a test one in there. New test. All right. We got to set an account on it. And we're going to go simulated default. Again, we're doing this after market hours. So, but either way, we'll figure something out here with it. So now we set up the first configuration. Want a long strategy. Yeah, Dan, I think there is something there. I think, even though we have limited options data, I feel like there's, for someone that understands options, there's a lot that can be done actually with options here in our software. Even with just that little bit amount of options data, just using the options data to make sure that the stocks that are coming through are optionable. And then, price action from there, and just simple calls and puts. I'm starting to try to learn some of those things. Like I said, it's a little bit out of my range, and I'm completely a self-taught trader. So, but back to this here. So we've done the configuration. We're looking at a long strategy. We've given it a name. All right, we put a simulated account. We don't need to configure anything because we're not looking to create, an automated strategy or anything like that. The entry time, we're wide open. We can trade at any time because it's a manual trade. Do we want to trade the same symbol more than once? Do we want to trade that symbol when we're holding it? That's up to you to decide. You can check or uncheck those. Just read them carefully what you're reading. There's also stop sending after a certain amount of orders. So again, check or uncheck that accordingly to what you're looking for. Then we'll come to the order details and how are we share sizing? Are we just buying a fixed amount of shares, a fixed amount of dollars? Are we doing it based on a stop loss? So let's say if we're risking $100 per stop loss, that's how it's going to buy it. Are we going in at a market order? Are we going in at a limit order? All right. So I know I just went fast through there. I'm going to go back again. So our entry time. All right. Line these up to what you're looking for here. If it's just a manual trading strategy, open the whole thing up for the whole day. Go over each one of these individually and see how they apply or don't apply to what you are trying to do. Since it's a manual strategy, you probably want them all unchecked, but that's, again, up to you to decide. In the order details, here's your position sizing, 3 options. Are you buying a fixed amount of dollars worth of stock, fixed amount of shares worth of stock, or are you buying based on a stop loss and how much you're risking? So watch this. It says risk value there. Now it says share size. Now it says dollars. All right. So that adjusts as you select something different. For this exercise, we're risking $100, and it'll be based on the stop loss we're going to come up with. Because we're doing it in the after hours, the only way to get a fill is a limit order. So we're going to go a limit order. Let's give it a nice big delta offset. So minus 0.15. All right. If you don't understand what this means here, essentially we're saying we're willing to go outside 15 cents from what the print is right now. So if there was a 15-cent spread, we would get a fill. If there was a 5-cent spread, we would get a fill. If there's a 30-cent spread, we probably aren't getting a fill, at least not right away. Okay. This is the time and force that the order is going to stay out there for. So the order, if it doesn't get filled after 2 minutes, will auto cancel. That's your time and force. All right. In your risk management, this is where we're going to set up. Now in here, what you're choosing has to obey market mechanics. So while there are filters you can certainly use, the filter has to obey market mechanics. All right. What do I mean by that? What I mean is when you get your fill, the bracket orders for your stop loss and your target are immediately sent to your broker to hold those orders. Trade Ideas does not hold these orders. Okay. Your broker cannot calculate a moving average. Your broker cannot calculate VWAP. Your broker cannot calculate a change in anything. Okay. So it has to throw out a hard percent that'll come to a dollar value or a hard dollar value right away. So for this exercise, we'll do a 5% stop loss and we'll do a 5% target. Okay. So now we're going to be risking $100 based on 5% of the entry. Okay. So we've got that all set up. The last tab to come through is the time exit. We're not doing any kind of timed exit here, so we're all set to go there. Boom, there's our strategy. We can right click it. We can enable that strategy. Click to enable. We've now enabled it, okay? We can also set it as our default chart long strategy, so we can trade right off the chart. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find one of my post-market scans that's showing something lively here in the post-market. Load that. All right, let's see here. Let's find something that's, this is looking lively in the post-market. Yes. And we're going to see if we can get this to go. I'm going to try to trade off the chart. We're at a limit order. Well, that price is jumping all over. Whoops. Jumped right back on me. So, all right. Our order's here. There's our stop. There's our target. The orders are sitting there. We'll see if they can get filled. I'm going to move this down closer to the price to see if I can get a fill here. Like I said, it's after hours, so I don't know if I'm going to get the fill or not. Because the simulator does not, it's not real market data, unfortunately. Well, it's not about it, unfortunately. It's just not real market data. It's not live. So we're sitting there waiting, hanging out to see if we can get a fill. But there it is. We created it. We put the order in. We can see the whole thing is working now. We traded that right off the chart. Another way we can do that also is, let's find something else that's moving in post market that maybe I can get a fill on. Who's moving? You're moving a lot in the post market. So we can right click here, select trade, new test. There it is. And we got a fill. Boom, got a fill on this one right there. Took the fill, gave me a fill at 7:15, it says. Stop and everything is out there. Where did it fill me? 77.15. We're right below that again now. Here are my closing orders for that. All right, so it's BBWI. So we've got a stop of 73.15. We've got a target of 80.85. So hopefully that all made sense on how that works through Brokerage Plus. And like I said, when you're trying to do this stuff in the pre and post market, you're not obviously going to get the results in live market hours. While this is obviously, jumping all over here on the price, we're not getting a fill right now because it's just not giving us the fill. That's all there is to it. See what happens if I drag this down some more. Get it anywhere close. It just doesn't want to fill me. And in the next few moments, it's going to cancel anyways. Oh, got the fill. So there it is. We got a fill on VSCO2, and now our stops and targets are there. But that stop is going to stay because that original stop was based on the order entry we submitted. So that's staying where it is. Same with the target. So hopefully that was informative and helped a few of you. Hopefully I went over that slow enough and thorough enough. I know, there's a lot to it. All right. It's, like anything else, you learn to, you learn to crawl, walk slow, start to trot, jog, and then run while chewing bubblegum at the end. That's Brokerage Plus. Brokerage Plus has a lot to it. There's a lot of market mechanics behind it. It's a great tool. I trade through it exclusively personally. So that's what I like to do. But and when I'm doing my trading, do all my trading through here, share size accordingly here. Enter shares that I want. If it's not what I want here in those numbers, I just enter the shares real quick. If I don't see the price I want here, I enter the price. That's it. Buy and sell. I'm very, very easy. I do use the flat and then the half buttons a lot. While I understand how the double, reverse, and limit out work, I never use them in my own trading, but they exist. You're welcome to use them yourself. That's exactly what I was looking for. That's what I want to hear. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm doing these late day Q&As. Want people to succeed with this software. There's a lot to it. I know a lot. I don't know everything. But doing this, you might ask me a question that I got to come back and circle back and get you an answer, and I'll have learned something too. So sorry, just catching up on some more internal chat. So we got 4 minutes and change here before I got to wrap up for the day. So if there's any other last minute questions here, let me know. Let's get rid of those. We looked at a little bit of Holly. We talked enough about her. Overall, another good day for Holly. I mean, we had that hiccup last week. Like I said, I don't really have any way to explain it other than, that's what happens. The market's the market. Software, software. Sometimes they all just don't talk to each other well. But, we've had good days all 3 days this week so far from Holly. In automation, was it great? I don't know because I don't run an automation, but just looking at, the price action on every one of these alerts, there's good money in every single one of them at some point. So, your own trade management, your own trade plan. But 1, 2, 3, another great one here. What do we got here? Nothing great, but certainly not terrible. This one kind of towed the line the whole day. Never got you in trouble. Never made you money. That was a garbage alert. That's all there was to it. One garbage alert, and let's see what this looked like. No, it was never a great alert either. So, not a chart I really like either, but all the same. So you had one garbage alert, one not really good alert at all. One kind of neutral alert, and then some alerts that you definitely could have snagged a few dollars out of. So I'd say that put the odds in Holly's favor pretty well today. I'm sorry, I got here late. Where do I get started learning? Right here, 3:30 Eastern every single day. I do this every single day, 3:30 Eastern. This stream that I'm on right now, it opens every day at 9 a.m. Barry opens it 9 a.m. Eastern every single day. He runs it more as a trader's room. He never will tell you what to buy, sell, do, hold, or anything like that. He shares his scans. He talks about things that he's looking at. He can answer some general software questions throughout the day. At noon Eastern, he gives up the stream here for an hour for a Q&A that's similar to this, a little more software focused instead of trading focused. Barry takes it back at 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day, runs it the same as he was, those first few hours. He closes the stream at 3 o'clock every day Eastern, and I open it back up at 3:30 to do this. So there's all that all day long for you. Let's see, what else do we have for you? We've got lots of stuff. As a matter of fact, it'll be easier instead of me sharing the links in here. Can you, Gregory, send info at trade-ideas.com. Send an email here and say, hey, I caught the end of the live Q&A late day. I know there's some more education links. Could you please share some of those education links with me? And I will, either myself or someone else is going to send link for the full user's guide, some different getting started videos, some links for the traders room, which is broadcasted from two sides. Barry runs the traders room from two sides, but the YouTube side is where the Q&As are done when he takes breaks. And we'll get that stuff to you like that. Those are going to be your best places to get all that done. Lots of stuff. If you have a question about it and it's software related, if we probably have a video on it. If we don't have a video, we certainly have user guide instructions on it. And if we don't have that, you have me every day at 3:30 Eastern. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, as they say. All right, 4:29, and we're winding into 4:30. I do have to run out today. tried to use Lightspeed, lost a lot of money, looking for something safer. So, well, we're not a broker, Gregory. We're just a software. We can link directly to a couple of different brokers, but I would suggest this to you then, Gregory. If you are not a subscriber already to Trade Ideas, come to these late day Q and A's, ask some questions, observe, take some notes, hang out in the traders room with Barry during the day. Don't rush. This is what I tell people that are ever kicking the tires of Trade Ideas. Don't rush taking a subscription with us. We're going to be here. The market's going to be here. The people who won't be here are the people that rush into trading and rush into buying things for trading. I know everybody wants to get out there. They want to make money. They want to make money fast. That's not how the trading world works. So, that's my suggestion to everybody. Everybody's got their own pace they want to go at. But there's a lot of stuff here. We're software and content providers. We don't tell people what to buy, sell, hold, or do. We can help you build some scans. We can go over how those scans might work as some different ideas. We can, always go over a few charts in this. If someone wants to take a look at a chart or two, I'm happy to look at a chart. I'm no chart technician whatsoever, but doing it for a few years, start to see some different things and understand a few different things. So if something that I can point out helps, I'm happy to do that. And those are my suggestions there, Gregory. So use that email address I sent you. Email us, say, hey, if you have subscribed already, say, hey, regardless if you subscribed or not, just say, hey, I know you have a lot of free education. Can you send me all the links that you have on it, please? Thank you very much. And we're going to send you out a package of stuff for that. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the engagements, appreciate the questions. As always, I will end again saying, once again, Barry opens this every day, 9 o'clock. He runs this YouTube side from 9 to noon, gives it up for an hour at noon for a Q&A like this, takes it back at 1 Eastern. He'll run it for another 2 hours till 3, where he takes his, that's it, he shuts down for the day. And I open it back up at 3:30 again. So thank you, everybody. You have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday afternoon or evening, wherever you're located in the world. And we will see you back here tomorrow. My pleasure, Dan. Thank you. Bye-bye.